in the head of it.
Yeah. Hey, run me over.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. We are.
Hi, Wetzel. Let's see. No way an action figure would be created. Hey, Austin. How are
Austin is
you?
here. How is JoeFest? We're going to get there.
And Saturday morning, Kay Munin is here. Reynard.
Yeah.
Hello, nerd. How are you? Hello to everyone.
Monkey was just under me here a minute ago.
Hello to everyone that has joined us this afternoon. We are back from JoeFest, which was today. Well, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We only went today. So we only went today, and that was good enough. Hey, John. How are you?
Here.
And Pastor Rick is here. Happy 50th. Happy decade of Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's pray they don't make a remake of it.
Half a century.
Yeah. 50 years of Jaws, 50 years ago. And I've got the original toy from the Ideal Jaws game. And I had the crown today. I did wear the crown while I was filming the live stream. And of course, I filmed a live walkthrough, a virtual video tour.
Yeah, and the JoeFest was pretty good. You know, we saw a lot of people. Hello to everyone we saw. We actually got a chance to meet Blue Splash, which many of you know
in the
from the comments. David McNichol, Blue Splash. He was here. He was there with his flowing locks. We got to see Raw Talk, Raw Deal.
That's right.
We got to meet him, or Real Deal. No, what is it? Yeah, Raw Talk, Real Deal.
Blue Splash.
We got to meet Houston. Hey, Houston. And Drew. We saw Drew. We saw a couple of other people that just stopped and gave us a wave, which was fine because we always say, give us a wave. And they did. Thank you, Pastor Rick, for the donation. We always appreciate
Monkey's in here. If he comes and says hi, he's like walking around under me.
Yeah. So, thank you for that.
All the help we can get taking care of our felines, and people have been asking, and I just want to clarify. Okay, I want to clarify that no cat is left behind. all the whole backyard feral clouder. I've been capturing them and transporting them to the new location so that I can continue to care for them. So
Robert.
They're not, nobody's being abandoned. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
A lot of Marvel figures,
Not too much Toy Biz. I saw there was a couple of people that had Toy Biz and I thought they were a bit overpriced. But I
didn't see the Randor, King Randor.
I didn't notice it myself, but I did see a couple of places that had carded figures, and I was like, "Oh, look, there's actual carded figures." I'd almost be afraid to look at the prices.
Yeah, and I didn't see the Randor though.
That's kind of the thing, though, because a lot of people. Did you see anything that would really catch your eye? Of course, there's a lot of stuff there that I thought was like, "Oh my God, wow, I'd love to get this." But I thought the price was a bit outrageous on certain things.
Yeah.
And that also brings up another interesting point that we were talking about a bit earlier, because I had somebody was trying to make a really good offer to me on a Defiant, a complete Defiant. It had one broken part.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, "Hey man, I'll really work with you. I'll really work with you." I'm like, "Oh," because we're moving right now.
Yeah.
So we've been in the process of moving, and I just can't budget something like that. And that's really kind of the thing. There must have been 16 or 17 terror drones there. There was maybe 10 USS flags.
There was a lot of flags with the boxes.
There were 4 Defiants, one with the box, 2 loose complete, and 1 without the gantry. And it's like, so this stuff turns up. You can find it at shows, but who can afford it? And where do you put that?
Yeah, those things are big.
Yeah,
They're massive.
the Defiant assembled is 7 feet long. Not everybody can accommodate that. You know, even with all the space. You mean the
flag?
USS flag.
Flag is 7
feet long when you assemble it. And some of them have gotten fragile over the years. The Defiant's notorious for that because the gantry doesn't quite hold everything. And so little pieces snap and break, and people are scared. The dealer, that's one of the things the dealer said, already accidentally broke a piece. You know, I'm scared to keep moving it. You know, I'll be happy to work with you. And I'm like, man, now is not the time. I just can't do it. You know, it's like I said, with us moving and everything, it stretched to the limit. Trying to take care of the cats, doing the moving. I always said we're doing all of it basically ourselves. We did have a person that we hired for one day for really heavy items, like the jukebox. That sucker's like 500-600 pounds. You don't just carry it around. Yeah. So we had to hire somebody for the day, but otherwise it's been all us, and it's been hard, and it's costly.
And the stuff that was heavy, I told him before, because we hired a guy that I work with, and I'm like, you know, I'll pay you. Just help us move. It's not a lot. And it wasn't a lot of pieces, but it was just the heavy stuff. And I told him everything that you're going to move is heavy. We've moved the light stuff, but we need help with the heavy stuff. And it didn't take long because everything was ready to go. All you had to do is put it in a truck, drive over to the new place, and unload it and put it in place. But it was heavy. Eternia Dreams.
Yeah, which means it'll be.
You don't know, because we didn't even try to see the price, so you don't know.
But he had those big wheels, and all those plastic big wheels are amazing.
US1 figures there. I didn't even know G.I. Joe crossed over with US1. Had the Marvel
US1 comic as a kid.
Oh, okay.
And Munin was like 16, 17 Terrordromes, USS flags. Yeah, look at the video, and you'll see how many, because I started noticing it. I was like, hey, how many Terrordromes have I seen so far?
Yeah.
But they're expensive.
But I mean, it is a JoeFest.
Yes.
So people with Joe stuff are going to bring their Joe, that stuff there, because that's the focus. I mean, it was a lot of other stuff.
JoeFest likes to be heavy, a raw era.
Yeah.
Because if you go to Joe Atlanta, they're going to have more of the 60s and 70s stuff. They're going to have more of the, 11.5 inch.
Yeah.
But,
hey, Alpha Triumph.
Yeah, he says he got rid of most of his vintage Joe playsets and vehicles due to fragile nature. In hindsight, I'd never paid a premium for them with the bad plastic, not worth it. Now, you just got to be careful. Yeah. I love the stuff, and I've got it sitting there, and I don't like to move it around. But they weren't thinking, oh, this will, 50 years from now, these adults are going to want to play with this stuff or display it. I'd rather just display it. Obviously, I'm not trying to play it. Saturday morning, Black Star and Crystar castles.
I was surprised to see that Black Star castle. I was very surprised.
You don't see anything Black Star.
I saw the Crystar castle, and I think a Crystar carded figure. I only seen 2 things Crystar, but the Black Star, I was shocked. I was like, wow. I've never seen that. Yeah, the cats are doing well. They're adjusting. Yes.
They freaked out at first, but they start settling down after a little while.
Yeah, they settle down after a couple hours.
That, by the way, if I wasn't clear about it last time, is how 3 of them got lost. Because Hobo, Dad, and Pinky. Because Hobo and Dad were sitting quietly and waiting on me. Pinky panicked and ran, and they went after her, and that's how they got lost in the first place. Fortunately, they've been found again. Dad and Hobo 9 days later, and they were not looking too good, but they're okay now. Yeah. And Pinky 13 days later, and she was very sick for about a week and had to be medicated and wasn't eating. And so I was worried she was something, I was going to end up digging a hole. But fortunately, she's pulled through and she's great now. But that's how they ended up getting lost in the first place.
Yeah, but a lot of those toys do have 3D printed. But
you got to watch for that.
You have to ask. They are not going to volunteer that information. You really have to ask, does this have any 3D printed parts? And then they'll tell you.
And that I went through a lot of that when I was hunting for the Terradrome the first time. And the guys said, oh yeah, it's 100% complete. It's 100% complete. Oh, but it doesn't have the figure. That's strike number one for me. If it came with a figure, it is not complete if you don't have the figure. I don't know what it is with raw dealers.
Yeah.
Many of them will do that to you. Oh, but it doesn't have the figure. Dude, it's pictured on the box. It's supposed to be in there. Secondly, it's like, well, and actually the Canon mounts were 3D printed. It's not original. It's not complete then. Those are fake components. You know, I went through a lot of that until I finally found one. And I went over that with a fine-tooth comb. And he was like, yeah, go ahead and look at it. It's all the original pieces. There's only one tab that's broken. And it's one of the pegs for the gas hose. Because there's like 3 or 4 little gas fueling stations in there with a little hose and a little nozzle, and one tab is broken. And he was telling the truth. I checked the whole thing over. I got a great price on it. Yeah. That was like, what, 3 years ago at JoeFest, I think?
I don't know. It was a while
back.
But
yeah, I knew piecing it out is insane. You'll pay a fortune. Saturday morning wants to know if we got that tweaky.
Yeah, David
we're going to be getting, we're going to be getting to that. Robert wants to know who got the most. Well, I don't know. It depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
And again, thank you to everybody who came up to us. We named a couple of people, but a lot of people knew who we were. You know, they saw the crown. People were shouting at me. I don't know if I think you did on the live stream. You might have seen the one guy yelling from out of the crowd, and he had his hands up because like, hey, the king. And they're all messing with me. But we had a great time. Surprised at some of the people that knew who we were. Actually, the guy from the big bad toy store table who knew who we were.
The ramen toys guy saw the
he watched
Marshall Brave Star.
Look, he gave us ramen toys pins. He was like, "Yeah, I watch your videos. I saw your review of the Brave Star figure," and he started telling us all about. Because he's the designer. Yeah. He was telling us about the work that he did on 3030, trying to get the hair right.
Yeah, that's why it's taking so long.
Guy from Ramen watches the videos. The guy from Big Bad Toy Store watches our weekly roundup. And I'm like, see, there's the pin. We both got one.
It was nice.
That was cool.
Yeah. And the guy from Ramen, I wish I had got his name. But he was telling us all of the stuff that they were doing just to get that hair right, because they wanted the neck to be able to turn right and left, up and down.
Yes.
And the way they had it before, because they wanted to look flowy like it did on the cartoon.
Without rooting it.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, when it was molded, the head wouldn't move. So then they did all of these different things, and then they kind of figured it out. So it goes on pre-order next month. I thought I had missed it. And he was like, no, you haven't missed it yet. It goes on pre-order next month. So I'm like, okay, good. So I'll get that to go with my Marshall Brave Star.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks good. He had it on.
Yeah, it looked real nice. It looks really nice. So I asked him if it was going to transform. And he was like, no, because then it wouldn't look right.
He didn't want to do it because he was like, he says that most, with a few exceptions, most transforming toys only look good in one mode, which is true. He was like, it's gonna look great as a vehicle, and it's gonna look like crap. You know, if you're talking about Transformers, it'll look like crap.
Yeah.
When you make a robot, or vice versa. And he'd rather just have a static figure.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
And they're thinking they might do him in the horse version, and I'm like, oh, good, because I would like both. You know, but the one where he's standing with his rifle, that's the one they're making, and it looks really good. And John,
Bessie,
yeah, and John says his wife got the entire hardcover editions of the Hardy Boy Mysteries. That's cool for $30. That's real good.
That's classic.
Yeah. So congratulations for that.
Noonan says we're becoming popular. We're shocked at how many people come running up to us, and you know, I guess the crown helps. So they spot the crown. I was like, that must be the Open by Chance guy. And I have people up, you're Open by Chance, right? Yeah, that's us.
Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, God, because I know, like,
the thing is, he appreciated the honesty, and we didn't really pan it.
No, we didn't say it was bad.
We just expressed our honest critiques.
Yeah, because my biggest thing, I honestly thought it was going to be a bigger figure. What is it, like a 12 scale figure?
Yes.
I thought it was going to be bigger. I really did. Outside of that, I don't think I had any other issue. I was just, I don't know why. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure on the website it said the size and everything. I just thought it was going to be bigger.
She thought it was going to be like quarter scale.
No, God, no.
Well, my issue, of course, was with the accessories, transferring accessories, getting them to snap on and things. I had issues with it. It's like this, I can't get it to stay. And that's frustrating to me.
The Big Bag Toy Store guy is nice.
He was very friendly.
The last time, I didn't see him this time. I met him the last time, after we did a Big Bag Toy Store video. But he was really nice and apologetic. So, but yeah, they were all nice. We also saw Motu Joe.
Oh, yes.
He was there.
Because he's selling his Motu cases.
His cases. Now, I know a lot of y'all always ask, where do we get the cases for our figure? Mm-hmm. The clamshells. Motu Joe sells those clamshells, and now he has a lot for a lot of different sizes.
Yes. And I think he's the only one doing them with UV protection.
Yeah.
So at this point, people ask us about him. I think at this point we can recommend, and we looked at his cases at the show today.
Yeah, we did.
We could recommend Motu Joe for that.
He had a lot of sizes because I haven't seen it since he initially talked about it. And when he initially talked about it, he only had the one for the Masters of the Universe. Mm-hmm. That's all he had. That was a couple of years ago. But now he had a wide variety. He had them for the Ninja Turtles, of course, the Masters. I mean, I'm sure you videotaped it.
Yeah, I went over his table and I let him plug too. I told him, yeah, please tell everybody what you're doing.
Yeah, so that'll be a good place. He's been on the channel. He's a friend of the community and the channel. So if y'all need cases, protective cases, check out his website or Facebook page and see what he has. I'm sure he has. And then again, it is UV protected. Yeah. And you don't find a lot of them. He's talking
about the GoBots Pathfinder. Looks good both ways.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I did end up with the Twiki, carded Twiki Mego Buck Rogers. So now I only need Buck.
I swore I saw a Buck.
No, I think Seth had 4 of them. But he did not have Buck or Twiki.
Oh, okay.
And I think he had Wilma, the Princess, the Draconian Guard, and I think Draco. But yeah, so that leaves me needing 1 figure. I don't have any of the vehicles. That's a whole other dimension because the vehicles are very expensive, actually. The vehicles are notoriously expensive. But I needed Twiki and Buck, and now I have Twiki, so that just leaves me needing a decent carded Buck.
Okay.
So I did luck up with that.
That was nice.
Yeah, I was happy to find that. She got a lot of stuff.
I didn't get a lot of stuff.
She's overflowing. We're knee deep in her stuff.
So, all right. I got a dinosaur figure.
She got this from Carlos. If you run into Carlos at a show, I recommend him.
Yeah, Carlos is very nice. He gives you good deals. He's not at a lot of shows. Well, he's not at a lot of the shows we go to. We only ever see him at JoeFest, I think. I don't think we really ever see him anywhere else.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, but he's really good. He has a lot of stuff. Today, the only thing he had that I wanted was this dinosaur figures. Usually I'll get like some strawberry shortcake or something like that from him. He had a bunch of Batman figures, but I had them all already. So, but I got this. And then that over there. One vendor had the next 3 things that I bought, and that's all I got.
And there's Conquest is joining us. This is Conquest Productions. And no, Robert, I have the deluxe Buck and Twiki, not the 1/18 scale.
No.
But yeah, the very merry worm.
Yeah.
When you need to drive very, very slow.
I know, right?
Look at that original price tag.
Who was talking to him about the slap
$797.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was Motu Joe.
Oh, okay.
On the camera Robert was watching this morning.
Okay. Hey, Conquest. So I got that.
Very merry worm.
And then everything is complete. And I asked him, hey, is that complete? He was like, yeah, let's take a look. And he pulled everything out.
That's making sure.
Yeah, and we counted up everything, and I compared them to what was on the box. This is the garden house. All of the pieces are there. This is the only one that's missing something. This one is missing. I think it's the next one.
It's the other set.
This is 100% complete.
And I have the little cat. She has a little cat.
And then one more. Is the
the bake shop. It's opening.
Oh yeah, this is the bake shop, and it's missing the fork or the rake.
Yeah, right, the rake.
The rake. That's the only thing that it's missing. And he gave me a good deal. I bought all three. He gave me a really good deal on them.
This was on layaway.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I got
that's the original layaway tag
from Kmart
on this. Whose is this? Let me see if it's marked.
New anime that we're watching.
I don't know who this is for.
We just finished watching
JC Penney. It's a JC Penney.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yes.
JC Penney did layaway?
And they all did.
Oh.
They all did back in the day.
We watched Geiger is the last anime that we've watched. We haven't watched anything else yet.
Kitties.
Remember watching Buck Rogers? Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey Patrick, how are you?
Joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Wow,
No, it's not in the budget for us to give up an arm and a leg for anything, especially now.
No.
But we find great deals. Like if this wasn't like a super good deal, I just would have had to walk away,
Yeah, you're right. We might have to do the new intro video. Yeah. We save our money to go to shows. We put money aside.
Yeah.
So we can go to these shows and get stuff. When you went to the Kenner table with the 16-year-old man,
Patrick's talking about. That's Big Earl.
That's on Pastor Rick. Big Earl.
Big Earl is the guy who has that $6 Million Man.
Yeah.
He does other kind of related. Dave Links is here. He does other kind of related things. Like he have like Pulsar Man or the Hardy Boys, something like that. But yeah, he specializes in the $6 Million Man stuff.
Any thoughts on the Spaceballs too?
Since it's Mel Brooks, okay, and he's rounding up as many of the original cast as are still around that are willing to do it, he might pull it off. Because Mel Brooks has never been known for pulling punches with the way he does things. Remember, this is the Blazing Saddles guy, and he has not softened up over the years. If anything, he's gotten harder.
Oh, wow.
So I'm thinking he's not going to pussify the movie, because if anyone else was doing it, you wouldn't even recognize it as being part of Spaceballs.
I never saw the original.
Plus, he hinted to the original in the original film when he played his impersonation of Yoda. And said that watch out for the sequel in the movie. Well, here it comes. Although Mel Brooks is like 98 or something.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I don't see him. It's kind of like Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood, he does a modern film. It doesn't feel like a modern film because he does what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I think Mel Brooks is going to be the same way. So hopefully it'll turn out okay. Munin wants to know more updates on the Toy Museum. Well, we put one up the other day.
Yeah.
We'll do more.
Yeah,
we'll do a couple more.
We do it. I mean, David is putting things up, and as he puts stuff up, we film and talk about, anything that we've done. But David is working on his side. My area still has to be built, so it'll be a long time before you see anything from me.
Excuse me.
But that's no big deal. I don't really care like all that. But David is
It'd be nice to be able to get it up, though.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get it up, but we're not in a rush because we want it done right, and we don't, we're not on a time crunch, nothing like that. Yeah, those lunch boxes were.
I always love to see the vintage lunch boxes. I was going to go back. I was going, and Logic Blaster was joining us. I was going to go back for that trash can, but somebody got it ahead of me. Somebody already got it because it's the metric system trash can, but. Still, I mean, she's got the CB radio ones, and they look fantastic.
Yeah,
I love those.
Yeah, I love and they had a lot of lunch boxes. You don't see a lot, and then I saw about 2 or 3 lunch trays. I didn't see the trash can.
Yeah,
but I did see about 2 or 3 lunch trays and a lot of lunch boxes. I was surprised at the amount of lunch boxes I saw. John Candy, Joan Rivers, Dan Patton, and a couple of other cast members are dead, though, from Spaceballs.
Not Rick Moranis, who said he's interested. And now everybody's like, hey, jerk, you said you wouldn't do the Ghostbusters.
What the Ghostbusters got to do with Spaceballs?
He was in it. He was the guy who turned into
I know who he was, but I'm saying, maybe he didn't care for one, but like the other.
He didn't want to do a fan service movie because I don't think I haven't seen it, but he was like, no, I don't think I want to do that. And now they say Spaceballs 2. He's like, yes. Saturday Morning said, did you know Mega Maid and Spaceballs was from Brooks' grandkid? Loved Transformers. He even got okay to put Optimus Prime in a coloring book in the movie and say Transformer in it. Interesting. He did a lot. Robert says, are the cats being indoor now and you let them out to explore? Aren't you afraid they'll get lost? Indoor cats stay indoor. Outdoor cats are set up for transition because we have a place to keep them. So they're set up for a transition. Also, speaking of more stuff,
that's all I got. I didn't get anything.
I thought you had bags and bags and bags of stuff.
No,
because people were ratting her out. You might have seen them. A couple of people on the live stream was like, "Have you seen LPH?" I was like, "No." As soon as we walked in here, I lost track of her. She's been buying stuff. People were ratting on her. She's been buying stuff. I saw her carrying bags, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." It's like, what are you guys doing? Tell me, she can shop.
Yeah, I saved my money to go shopping, and I didn't even spend a good portion of it. I found the 4 things I wanted, and I didn't get anything else. Oh, I wanted to say hello to our friend Jack, from Fortress Comics.
Yes.
Always great to see him. He always got great comics. So
show the badge.
Oh yeah, and then we got a badge.
We got
a vendor badge.
This one's a vendor badge, though. It's not a press badge or something like we normally have. But I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. Hey, Raccoon. How are you? Great to see you again.
So also.
Yeah, now this is David.
Yeah, this is me. The Supernaturals, the Tonka Supernaturals. Okay, who the hands and the swords glow in the dark, but it's most of the wave. There's 8. I've got 6 out of 8 of these characters of the. I'm not sure what you would call these. 6 out of 8, and this is like the biggest okie doke from Tonka because they're all the exact same figure on the exact same card. But all they did was change the color of the robe and the hologram. Let me see if I can get the hologram to show. God, it's so hard to dial it in. It's
that
hard.
One you saw it a second ago.
Yeah, it's hard. I need to shine a light in it, I think. And they changed the hologram, and like the hands and the sword glow in the dark. But there's 8 in the set, and I got 6 out of 8 of them, which is, not bad for the price because the guy had he had enough to make 3 sets.
Oh, wow.
And I pulled these out and I said, hey, if I take one of each, can we do something with that? And he was like, let me see if that'll help. I'm trying. A little magic.
Oh, yeah,
there it is. There it is. It's coming. It's coming. Because if I look at it, I can see it. But for some reason, the camera's not picking it up. But that's all it is. It's just this flat 80s hologram. It's like the biggest okie doke. It's the goofiest thing. And then the cards all look like that. Oh, you can kind of see it if I tilt it down.
Yeah.
That's a little better. But
no, not looking forward to anything from Comic-Con. They haven't had anything.
So 6 out of 8. I need 2 more of these, and then the human figures. But the human figures tend to be a little bit more expensive. And then I think there's 2 vehicles and then the play set.
We saw somebody with those human figures, and they were a lot.
He wanted a lot. He had 4 of them.
Yeah, and then we also saw I think we saw 2 vehicles in a place, and they were expensive. They were very expensive.
These are ghostlings, I think is what they call them. It says release their hologram powers. Changes from a vampire to swooping bat. No, it's a 2 points of articulation action figure with a sticker is what it is. There's no vampire bat here, okay? But you know, it's just cheesy enough. I love it. It's Tonka. I would have preferred Rock Lords. I didn't see one Rock Lord there. Not even
you got Rock Lords.
I do have Rock Lords, but I don't have all of them. But I think 6 out of 8 is a good start, especially for the price. It was way less than I would have paid on eBay. But I have to just figure out if I can even remember. This is where it gets weird because since they all look the same except for the color of their bathrobe, it's like if I find one at a show, will I know if I have it or not?
Not unless you put it in the catalog like I do.
It's kind of like the Worlds of Wonder. I think I mentioned this earlier. The Worlds of Wonder. I mentioned it on the live stream this morning. The Worlds of Wonder germs. I have 7 out of 12. There's 12 in the set. I have 7. But they gave them made up real technical germ names. So every one of them has a name that's like 20 or 30 letters long. It's like itchy macrolycocephalophobia or something like that. And it's like, I don't remember that. There's no way in hell I'm going to remember these. So if I found one at a show, would I know if I had it? Probably not.
What's your opinion on stop motion films?
I like stop motion films. So you mean like Nightmare Before Christmas and James and the Giant Peach, was I think is a really underrated stop motion movie. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff if it's done well. Saturday Morning Mrs. Hologram Toys. And Patrick got into buying Hot Wheels.
Hey, Deke, how are you?
From Smyrna.
Yeah.
And Munin thinks Supernaturals was an interesting concept. It was the same concept as Visionaries. But Visionaries gave you an actual action figure, which is articulated like in a raw G.I. Joe, only they're bigger scale. They're like 12 scale. And they put a badge on their chest with a hologram rather than faking you out with an entire hologram cutout body. This kind of tooling. This is called we don't have a budget. This is called let's make this as cheaply as possible.
Hey, Daniel, how are you?
And they say Supernaturals. That was the commercial. They would sing that. Yeah, they look like Jawas, says Lynx. Kinda, I guess so. Munin says they were probably only a few bucks on release. I'm willing to bet they went to clearance at several stores. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Try to find them now, though. And people will pay an arm and a leg for some of them. But yeah, like I said, he had enough of the 3 complete sets. You never see them at shows.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, if I put a set together, what can we do? And he was like, let me call somebody. And he got on the phone and he texted rather. He was texting back and forth with this guy. And I was like, well, how about this much? Well, how about this? And we finally ended up negotiating a price that I thought was actually pretty good. So I was like, okay, we'll do that. And I'll take that home.
Hey, Vintage Poet, how are you?
Yeah, he likes McDonald toys.
Yeah.
One of my favorite toy lines, and I have the complete set, is the Remco McDonald Land 12th scale figures from 1976. I've got all 7 figures and the play set. And I just got them up on display, too.
Oh, good.
Downstairs. You were in the advertising section.
Yeah, I know. Makes you wonder how many figures Rotten and Ollie's ended up worth.
Might end up worth their weight in gold one day. None of them.
You don't know that.
I do know that because you know why?
Why?
Try to find one of these carded. because what happened is they all ended up on clearance. Grandma and grandpa bought them for $0.25 a piece at KB Toy Store, and he put them in stocking stuffers, and they all got ripped open and played with. Okay, that's why you can't find them on the card. You think anything on the Ollie's pegs right now are ever going to be opened?
They might.
No.
People going to buy them for stocking stuffers and birthday gifts.
You know who opens them?
Who?
Dealers who can't sell them boxed, but they will sell loose. And we've talked about that because it was a dealer. Yeah, there was a dealer who confided in us at the Toylanta, without naming them again. For those of you who haven't heard the story, he said, because he was talking about this very same thing with us. He says, all this modern stuff, I don't see how it's going to be worth anything. You remember all those Star Wars, like red and green series from the 90s. In my store, people bring them in by the box load, mint on the card, 50, 100, 200, 300 at a time in cases. I'll pay $0.25 a piece for them, and I open every one of them. It was like I tear them all open and throw the packaging away, because I can sell them loose for $1, but I can't sell them carded for $1. No one will buy them. I'll sell 50 loose ones a week, and I'll sell one carded one for the same price. And that's, yeah. And I wonder about that when I go to these shows now and I see all these Legends figures and all of these like G.I. Joe classified figures and stuff that are all loose in the bags for like $5 a piece. And I wonder if they tore them out of the boxes themselves. Who else has like 20 of the same figure bagged loose? You know?
That's cool that they're using those old characters again, because that's what people like and that's what people remember. And I think if a lot of those retailers would play their old commercials again, they'll get a resurgence in sales, because these new commercials are just stupid.
They are.
They make no sense. But
when they were stupid back in the day, they were at least fun.
Yeah. And we watch a lot of game shows that has the original commercials, and you actually know what's going on. So, you know, I think they should try it. Play those old commercials again, because the stuff is still selling, you know, on the shelf. But the commercials are ridiculous.
Oh, there's Monkey in the chair.
Let's see. Casey. Hey, Casey. How are you?
He said he had Supernaturals and the holograms didn't work. He traded it for Moto.
Oh.
Yeah, they work. These I can
play motion.
I can see them, but it's hard to get it to pick up on the camera.
Yeah, anime is coming up. I mean, you know, everybody got their thing that they like. Power of the Force 2. Our city toy store has them for $5 to $10 carded.
Do they sell?
Wallace and Gromit.
I like Wallace and Gromit. The first time I saw Wallace and Gromit was in
Wolfie, how are you?
Was in a local theater. It was it was in Brookline.
How is that going? Wolfie is helping out. You know, they're rebuilding the Star Trek ship.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're making the set.
Yeah, so he just got back from that. He helped lay the carpet today. So that gotta be fun. Putting together, because I didn't realize David told me that it's a full size 1-to-1 scale. I thought y'all was just doing some little model kits.
Who saw the 1-to-1 scale of raw G.I. Joe figures that were at the that were in the tour this morning?
Oh yeah, that.
And he also did the Mohawk Zartan.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they moved it to the back of the room.
Oh, okay.
They moved it to the back of the room.
Super 7 G.I. Joes look cool, especially the unmasked.
Yeah, I did go through the Super 7 booth. I didn't get a chance to talk to you though.
Yeah, the Noid is back. Yeah,
I never cared for the Noid actually.
Shout out the monkey, whatever. That old annoying cat.
He's sleeping right now. He got worn out. Yeah, cat getting mandatory screen time. We can't really see him. He's like behind LPH.
Yeah.
Well, him and Daniel have been running around all over the place, so he's probably tired now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's is it 6 or 8 of the human figures, and there's 8 of these, and I think 2 vehicles at a playset. I could be wrong, but you know, for the price, I thought it was pretty cool. I'm a fan of the old toys, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s, stuff like that. And of course, my Tweaky finally. So I'm one closer to finishing the figures. And then, like I said, the vehicles though,
yeah,
man, especially the way I get them, a boxed,
yeah,
sealed, or even complete
mm-hmm.
of any of the vehicles from the Mego Buck Rogers is going to be very expensive. So I don't know how that's going to work out. Wolfie wants to know how the cats like the new house. They're fine now that they're settling in.
Mm-hmm. They all got their little spots.
Yeah, they all find their little place, and they're content.
Yeah,
they are content.
Yeah.
And also, once again, we got our ramen pins, ramen toys. Gave us the pins. I almost didn't see them there, but then I realized who they were, and did them on the walkthrough on our virtual video tour. Virtual video tour.
Yeah.
Munin says Jada Street Fighter figures went up to 30 everywhere and some 35. Storm Arena figures are now cheaper. Really?
Wow.
Jada went up?
Yeah. That's a shame. Everybody's going up.
Some
yeah.
Yes.
That's just crazy though.
But yeah, what are you going to do?
Nothing. Ain't nothing you can do but just suck it up.
That's why that one guy that I talked to today when I was filming wanted to emphasize the guy who's making the play sets.
Yeah, the dioramas.
Made in America. Yeah. Made in America. No waiting for shipping. No 2 years out and it's on a shipping container. So that's good to know. Yeah.
We saw a lot of independent toy dealers there today. It was a lot. Some of course we've seen before. It was a few I've never seen before, but it was a lot of independent. So they're getting around and they're becoming, a big deal, those independent dealers. No, we've never been to Dallas.
No.
We've never been there. That's too far for us. We go 2 hours out.
Yeah.
Maybe usually 2.5.
Maybe a little more.
But no further than that. Yeah. Heard last year or this, they're making a Pokemon claymation from the people that made Wallace and Gromit. Hope I get more news about it.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that. Conquest wants to know how the weather was. It was warm today.
Hot.
It was a very warm day. Mm-hmm. Wolfie likes the Goosebumps figures, but for 24, they should have thrown in Fasimil books. I haven't seen the Goosebumps figures. You can still get the Tales from the Crypt action figures really cheap from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You can still get those pretty cheap. Saturday morning, like the movie room in the basement, some classic movie posters or repro posters could look great.
We have some posters.
About that,
we have some posters, movies, and David got a bunch of signed stuff that we're going to put up there. But that wall space is dying out real quick, with all of the stuff that we got in there already, the TV and the shelves. But yeah, we have movie posters, and we're going to put nostalgic pod blasting. I wanted to call you on the phone, Chance, Thursday. Because Thursday started Dallas season 9. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute.
Is there any
point in watching season 9? Because as we know, at the end of season 9, Pam wakes up and everything was a dream. So then, I asked David, I read up on it, but it didn't say, and I asked David, I'm like, well, the things that happen to Pam a dream, or is everything a dream? And David was saying everything is a dream, even the things that happen with the other characters. So we figured it's no point in watching.
Because it'll all be erased.
Right.
And you're back to square one from the last episode of season 8.
So we just jumped into season 10 where she goes into the bathroom and Bobby's standing there taking a shower. Because there's no point in watching a whole season of 30 episodes and then you'd find out none of that stuff happened. It feels like a waste of time. So we didn't watch it. But that's where we're at. We just watched episode 1 of season 10 where she goes into the bathroom and Bobby is taking a shower. So that's where we are with that. We skipped over the entire season 9. We watched probably we saw the first episode where they had the funeral. Then we was into the second episode, probably about 10 minutes. And I'm like, wait a minute. I ain't wasting my time. 35 weeks or whatever of this just to find out that
nothing matters.
Yeah, because nothing happened.
Which is what Nostalgic says there. He says everything. Yes. So
everything.
Yeah.
Everything even the stuff that happened. And then I read, because last week I read and was like, okay, well, what's going to happen to Chauncey? And then she gets back with Mark. Her and Mark was going to get married. But then it's like none of that happened. No. So we just skipped it. We skipped it.
Casey wants to know if we think there'll be new Motu figures with the new
Of
movie.
course there will.
Oh, absolutely. Mattel can't help it.
Yeah.
They will crank out figures, movie or not. And Robert wants to know if we had a place for the jukebox. Did you see the last update?
He must not have, because we showed the.
Well, we have another update that'll be coming up either tomorrow or the day after. Mm-hmm. And you'll probably see where we put it, because I got it propped open because I've been working on it. I got the lights running. I've got the change machine running.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I just can't seem to get the record player to turn over.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see.
Even if it doesn't work, it's still nice to have it and light it up again.
Yeah, it's just a matter of when I can get back to it, because there's so much we're juggling right now.
And nothing needs to be done right now. I mean, we're working on it bit by bit every day after work. So,
Link says George Reed, the original television Superman, has another box set, because the old box set got very expensive. So that'd be nice if they re-released it. I used to watch that when I was a kid.
No, and that's another thing I wanted to ask you. Because you keep saying that the Jock's Ghost is coming back. So far, it hasn't come back yet. No Jock yet. So I don't know when that's going to happen. How about JR crying when Bobby was run over and killed? Yeah, we passed that. We passed that part. We're on season 10.
And he's gone from crying to first episode of season 10 and him telling Bobby, you're a lot dumber than I gave you credit for. He's going to marry Pam.
Yeah, because he asked Pam to marry him.
Which I think is stupid, too. I can't stand Pam.
I don't know.
I can't stand Pam.
Fine. They kicked Jenna to the curb, and Charlie's all upset. I don't know why Jenna didn't just move out. She's still locked up in the room at Southport. She need to move on. And I don't know why Bobby planning on moving back to Southport. He need to stay at Pam Mama house with her. Get away from them people. Yeah, a lot of new Superman toys. We've been showing those the last couple of weeks. Have y'all seen the custom 3D printed Joe Classified 12-foot? No, I haven't seen that.
No, I haven't seen that.
No, I'm not big into the 3D printed stuff.
No, I'm not a fan of 3D printed either, honestly. Yeah, I don't trust it, and I've heard too many complaints. It's not a strike on anybody, because I'm not going to name anybody anyway. But way too many complaints from people that have gotten 3D printed replacement parts or had toys that were 3D printed. And after a few years, they start to crumble. They start falling apart, or they burst open and some liquid comes out of them. They start to seep. And so I'm like, nah. It sounds to me like they still really haven't gotten the bugs out of all of that.
But it makes me wonder, because like I said, today we see a lot of independent dealers, and they're making toys and they're making dioramas, and all of that stuff is 3D printed. So if you're having all of those problems, you buy all of these 3D printed dioramas and toys, are they going to melt down on you in 5-6 years?
Hey, it's possible.
I mean, because that stuff is not cheap. I mean, yeah, it's unique. It's different. It's not
some of it costs as much as the regular stuff.
Yeah. So then, just for the, so I don't know. No, we haven't been to GameStop in literally years.
Yeah,
years with a lot of S's on the end. I don't know the last time. I don't know the last time we've been to a GameStop, even just to go in there It seemed like we were in there last year. I don't know why we didn't get anything. But no, I don't. I haven't heard anything. Don't forget Superman and the Mole Man. Superman.
That's
first
right.
Big screen movie.
Black and white film. Robert wants to know if we went to the neighbors. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did meet a few. Yeah. That's right. We usually don't mess around with our neighbors too much.
Yes.
We've been in neighborhoods before where you had the old retired people and they were busybodies and they stayed in your business and they did all of this and did all of that. And so we pretty much kind of leave our neighbors alone. Yeah. In our last house, I knew the two people beside us. I knew their names and the lady across the street, but we don't hang out. You see them, you wave. We ain't like rude like that. But they would come over and ask a favor, sure, whatever. But like to hang out and go over there and just talk and sit and drink some coffee. We don't do all that.
No, we're fine together.
Yeah.
We'll sit together and drink coffee and talk all day.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody was to come by and talk, like me and the one lady, we stood outside for a minute, for about 5 minutes, and we talked. That was fine. But we had that bad experience with the one neighbors before in Illinois, mm-hmm. And that kind of turned me off from neighbors. Period. I don't want to be bothered.
Not just one of them.
Yeah,
several neighbors.
Because in that neighborhood, everybody was old and retired. They had nothing to do but mind other people's business. And not that we were bad neighbors, but they nitpicked everything. Oh, your trash can need to be on the right side of the driveway, not on the left side of the driveway. You cut your grass too low. And it's literally, those were the complaints. You cut your grass too low. The trash can was on the wrong side of the driveway. It's like, who cares? And then you need to rake the leaves every day, not once a week. Go sit down somewhere and mind your own business. I misspelled his.
Talking about George Reeves.
Oh, okay.
And
what about
3D toy stands Saturday morning? I don't know, because I don't mess with any of that kind of stuff.
Oh, Warner Brothers did that then? Oh, okay. The Superman.
Yeah.
And the Mole Man is the
first one in theaters. I remember that. I think I have it on disc, actually, that film.
Once a Man, twice. Didn't announce it. Now we have 2 on back order. Oh, I don't know what Once a Man is. Hey, Frankenfrog.
Oh, he's talking about Once a Man mm-hmm. is the snake transforming version of Cobra Commander.
Oh,
I was once a man.
Oh, I bet you that'll be cool.
Yeah, because they did an O-ring version, Super 7,
mm-hmm.
where he's just starting to tear out of his clothes. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Before he turns into a full-on snake, before Roadblock had to start carrying him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got to be careful. I don't mind neighbors and old people and stuff like that, but God, you knock on your door. Hey, you need to put your trash can on the right side, not the left side.
And then if you don't, they'll call code compliance and the truck will come.
Yeah, and then stand outside. Oh, you cut your grass too low. Why you cut it so low? I'm like, because it's my grass. I don't want to cut it every week. I don't have people coming to cut my grass like you do. I cut it low so I won't have to cut it so often.
Oh my God.
These people were crazy.
Yeah, I know.
We drink any old kind of coffee. We really don't.
Conquest asks what kind of coffee we like. I like it when it's got a little, like, when we have the pumpkin spice or the holiday blend or something like that. We like our coffee a little sweet.
Yeah, so we put cream in it.
I don't drink straight black coffee.
No.
Oh, just give me a straight black coffee so I can have awful breath all day and breathe on people, and I'll get too close. And I'll be like that one guy on Seinfeld that didn't have depth perception, and I'll run up on people and be like, "Hi, how are you?" We
got people at work like that.
They get right in your face and, "Hi," and you're like, "Ooh," and you gotta wipe the tears from your eyes. Like, wow, dude.
Yeah, we saw Step Brothers. We saw Step Brothers, and I remember Tom Hanks in the Burbs. Now his neighbors were cool on the Burbs because they were nosy, and thinking that guy. Then the guy did kill that neighbor. I don't remember, but I do remember the neighbors, and they thought the guy killed somebody, and they were sneaking around the house in the middle of the night and all that. Have you seen the 3D stuff?
Rie wants to know if anybody tried to pass off 3D as original. I've seen a couple of half-ass attempts at it. We were talking about it a little earlier when I was originally looking for my first terror drone.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, is it complete? And it was like, yeah, it's complete. Does it have the figure? No, because they always do that with a RAW for some reason. And then they, as I'm picking it apart, because I'm going to look at everything. Well, actually, the gun mount is 3D printed. Well, it's not original, then, is it? And I would catch them. But I had that happen a few times actually with the terror drone until I finally found one that was all in one piece, because I don't want to have to buy extra pieces because that gets outrageously expensive. But
Chance and Casey, the thing is with those neighbors, we were not in an HOA.
We weren't.
We have never lived in an HOA.
Oh God.
We just live in a neighborhood.
Yes.
You know, a subdivision.
HOAs would be worse because then they'll fine you too.
Exactly, because I refuse to live in an HOA. I won't even look at a house if it's in an HOA. I refuse. So we've never lived in an HOA. These people were just like that. They ran that little neighborhood, the one in Illinois. They ran it like it was an HOA. They
with an iron fist and a brown shirt.
The only thing is you didn't pay, but they ran it like they had meetings and stuff like that. Yeah, the one guy across the street, I swear he had a brown shirt. He was just awful. I'm like, good Lord, dude, go somewhere and sit down. I just commissioned a Horde crawler
giant Motu tank this week for $1,000.
Ooh, I want to see that. Make sure you put those pictures on David's Facebook page.
Yes,
I want to see that.
If you're on the Facebook and you want to post pictures like that, feel free.
Yeah, we got people at work like that.
Muted agrees with that.
About it holding up over
Ryan
time.
Says, yeah.
I've heard stories now. I haven't personally experienced it because I've never bought anything 3D printed.
Yeah.
I tried to commission something to be 3D printed.
And can't get any help.
And nobody will print it for me. But hey, whatever.
Johnny's here.
Hey Johnny, how you doing?
He went to a Comic-Con today.
Oh, okay. He got a Cobra Kai poster.
Oh, that's right. He was telling me. He mentioned to me on the Facebook that he was going to be meeting some of the cast from the Cobra Kai today.
Okay. Tara Joan even got a comic ad. Oh, really?
I wasn't sure if I had a chance to respond to you, Johnny. I don't mean to forget you. We had a lot going on. Well, we've had a lot going on all month.
I know.
It's been very busy for us, but then we had the show today. And it's one of these things where we would normally go to all 3 days, like when JoeFest. I think when Joe Lanta comes around, we'll be at all 3 days, but they're going to kind of want us to anyways. But yeah, we just couldn't. We're not going back tomorrow. We could only kind of do it the one time.
Yeah. Okay. Johnny said he's going to post some pictures of the signed movie posters.
Okay.
So y'all look for that on Facebook. Seen video of 3D printing some the guy print females making the bust and Triple D.
Big busts.
I was on an HOE committee.
HOA.
Oh.
They had my car towed.
See?
See? Oh no.
I just watched the video this week, and the guy was talking about, he's a realtor, and he was talking about those over 55 communities, and you know the HOA can be up into $400. But it's so bad.
A month.
Yeah, $400 a month. But it's so bad. They tell you, you know, you can't, how long you can have people stay at your house. So, you know, you might have a guest and they might stay a week, or your grandkids might come and stay for the summer. No, they can only stay like 2-3 days over the weekend. They can't stay during the holiday. And it's like, what kind of crap is this?
Yeah, tell me I can't have my grandkids over the house for 10 days for Christmas.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
And you know, like sometimes the grandkids go spend the whole summer at the grandmama's house, the grandparents' house. And you trying to say, oh no, you can't stay that long.
That's her reading glasses. She has them on so that she can read the comments.
Yeah, my eyesight getting blurry. You know, as you get old, your eyesight.
Johnny, look what I found today.
Start dying out on you.
Beady. Yeah, Twiki.
How do I get an idea for an action figure submitted properly and produced? I don't know.
That I'm not sure about.
I don't know.
Honestly, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, you got to talk to some of them guys, and they probably won't tell you nothing that already does it. No, they never think that you're trying to be competition. But I don't know how you do that.
Because I've never tried to do anything like that, so I'm not 100% sure.
We've taught the people that you can commission to do stuff for you, but never talk to anybody about how to get that going. So yeah, we're no help.
Now I just need a carded buck in 18th scale. 18th scale carded buck. So I got that today, and of course I already showed these. I picked up 6 out of 8 of the supernatural ghostlings, because there's 8 in the set, but I've got 6 of them here.
Yeah.
And then she got strawberry shortcake stuff.
Yeah, I got a bunch of strawberry shortcake stuff from one guy. He had them all. He had a lot of strawberry shortcake. I had a bunch that he had the house, and he had a lot of
But you never see the house either.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I gave her a house for our anniversary a couple of years back, and that was tough to track down.
Yeah. And then he also had some boxed figures, but I had all the box figures, and his box figures were opened.
Hers are sealed because she's all bougie. Yeah, Johnny missed it because he was washing his hands. That's too bad, Johnny. He's gonna have to suck that up. No, I mean, but yeah,
buck.
Yeah, there's the except for the first like 6 episodes of season 2 when they gave him some like wimpy girly voice.
Yeah, I like the season 1 tweaking.
Yeah, they got back to that afterwards. I don't know what happened there. Why Mel Blanc was off the payroll, but they got him back because him having that super masculine voice is what really sold the character.
Yeah, but people complained enough. They paid him some money and told him to get back here.
Yeah, and this is so I just need the Buck now. Buck Rogers Smith on the card. And then, but like I was saying earlier, vehicles. I mean, vehicles is a whole different ball game.
I like the Birdman. I liked him. The Eagle guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked him.
And he had a nice thespian voice.
Yeah, he had a good, rich voice.
Yeah.
I liked his character. I understood his character and everything. Did they do a figure of him?
Zika Toys did one like 20 years ago. They did a Buck and they did him. No, they didn't do him. They did a Buck and a Tiger Man, and they were gonna make him, and they didn't. And Zika Toys dropped the line. It was Buck and Tiger Man, right? Somebody knows.
Okay.
Conquest said Mel Blanc was on Buck Rogers.
He was the voice.
He did the voice of Tweaky, the original Tweaky.
See, massive fan complaints, and that's the one thing that that
back in the day
I don't know if we talked about it on here, but I know me and David had a conversation. People had power back then. We did talk about it here. People back then had power. If they took your favorite character off, you threatened not to watch. You sent letters, and they got those people back. That's what happened with Bobby. Like you said, Mel Blanc. That's what happened to Victor Newman. It happened to a lot of characters when they threatened to take those characters off, or the characters say, no, I'm tired. I want to go do something else. The fans complained, and the studios listened. But now, nobody cares. You can complain all you want to.
And
well, this is what you get.
Like says Johnny coming in here late, or a couple of people coming in late. Yeah, I got 6.
Johnny sent a package.
6 out of 8 Ghostlings from Supernatural. I need 2 more, and then I'll have to work on the human figures. I'll have to work on the humans. He wants to know if we can, because we have the new. No.
No.
Oh hell. Well, we got the new museum.
I'm messing with you, John.
He's probably sitting there with his mouth open. What are you doing to me?
No, I'm just joking.
Because we have the new toy museum, we're doing the build, and we'll have another update coming up. Here's the other three. They're basically the same figure over and over again with a different color bathrobe, basically. And then on the back, you can't even tell who's who because it all looks the same. I guess you just have to read the name and guess, because I can't even tell what color these are in these pictures. This black and white, it's practically a grayscale photograph. So I'll have to look for the names.
Community got the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy card. He got them for under retail because he knew people in the store and had some coupons.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened with Jock returning too. Massive fan. But see, now the Jock was different because the character actually died. So it wasn't like he left. He died off the show. Mm-hmm. The guy died in real life, so you can't really complain that you took Jock off. He died, and if he had, if they tried to replace him, they would have had a problem. People would have lost their shirts. What happened to Bo and Luke Duke? It took a whole entire. Oh yeah,
they wanted more money, and the company fired them. The producers fired them.
Yeah,
and the ratings tanked.
Yep.
And then they said, okay, well, let's just bring him back. And they threw Coy and Vance to the curb. I mean, they just one day it's just like, oh, bye, Coy and Vance. The Duke boys are back. Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, and they picked up like nothing ever happened.
And then their budget for cars was gone, and they started using model kits. And then that's when you get them jumping over oil rigs, or they're jumping oil derricks, and they're jumping like barns and moving trains and stuff. And it's like, you could tell it's a model kit. You can look at it. It's like that's a whole scale train set with a little car on strings, for God's sakes.
Yeah, Saturday morning said when they replaced the actors, like nobody knows, like on Bewitched and Monsters. Everybody noticed, but they pretend like.
Well, no, those shows people didn't care though.
Yeah.
Something like Bewitched, it wasn't that big of a show where people were emotionally invested in it.
Yeah.
Like with a soap opera like Dallas, where people they take that stuff deadly serious. Yeah. Like when actors would be approached by people in the airport that would slap them in the face for something they did to some other character.
How could you leave Pam like that? And it's like, I'm a character in a show.
It's like,
we're not married for real.
Yeah, a sitcom is a little different.
Yeah, like what they did on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah. And they made fun of her being changed out. People still didn't say anything.
No, because nobody cared.
Yeah, that's right.
Actor passes away in real life. It's near impossible to recap. Yeah.
That's what killed broadcast news, because Phil Hartman was dead.
Oh, okay.
Phil Hartman, when he was murdered, and he was on broadcast news, and they got rid of him and they replaced him with Phil Hartman. Mm. Right? No, Phil Hartman's the one who got killed, and they replaced him with God, I can't think of his name. Mm.
Chance knows.
Yeah, Chance knows. The guy they replaced him with wasn't bad for the role, but he wasn't Phil Hartman. People were used to him.
Yeah,
they were used to him. I'll think of it when it's too late.
Yeah, when we
he was the guy. He was the same SNL alumnus. He was the guy who was in the cartoon The Critic.
See you, Conquest. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Somebody knows who it is.
Roseanne was killed off her own show.
Yeah, but nobody was watching that show. The Return of Roseanne.
Yeah.
Nobody was watching it anyway, so they don't care.
Yeah.
It's like the ratings are on the toilet. So it's like, oh, well.
Yeah, because they wanted to see Roseanne, not the husband and kids.
Robert got it. John Lovett. That's right.
Oh, John Lovett.
They replaced him with John Lovett, who was good for it, but it wasn't him. It's kind of like on Route 66.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. When they took off, what was the guy named? Was it Buck?
Not Buck.
What was his name? Buzz.
Buzz left the show
for Link.
And they got Link. Link was a solid character.
Yeah.
And if Link was there first, that would have been fine. But he wasn't Buzz. Everybody was really used to that pair. Yeah. They were really used to Todd and Buzz. And when Buzz wasn't there, they were like, what the hell happened? And then Link shows up, and Link did a great job.
Yeah, Link grew on you, though.
Yeah. But it's like, but by that time, you know, they've lost most of their audience.
Well, Buzz,
they did Buzz wrong.
They did do
that
him
actor.
wrong.
They screwed him
because he had got sick filming that role in filming that scene where he was in the ocean and almost drowned.
There was a woman.
He got sick for real.
There was a woman who was supposed to be trapped in the rocks, and he's in a bikini on the beach, and it was actually very cold that day. It was not a warm summer day, and he had to be in the water for days doing takes and doing other things. And he was getting sick, and I think he ended up getting pneumonia.
Yeah, he was in the hospital for a while in real life.
And they just like, oh, screw him. Well, let's get. How about we just write a new character in? And they just hung him out to dry.
Yeah.
And it killed the show. It killed the show.
Oh wow.
Saturday morning, yeah, there were a total of 6 Stooges, but to be fair, that was because, well, of course, they were replaced because of illnesses.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Well, by buying the vehicles, Jess wants to know, I'll get everything I can, Supernaturals, if it's in the budget.
Right.
If it's in the budget. These were a great price.
We saw a couple of vehicles today, but they were high.
Yeah, they were high.
Yeah, they were a couple of $100.
That's typical. If it's a great price and I can budget it, because I don't, you know, sometimes even a great price, like again today, somebody was trying to sell me on a Defiant. It was complete.
Yeah. And had the figures and everything.
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey man, I will cut you a sweet deal. Seriously, make an offer. Let's work on it." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't do it right now because we're, you know, with the move and everything, we're just stretched to the limit." And I'm like, I just can't think about investing in something like that right now. I'm so sorry, because I am interested. I just can't do it. And so it's like, even if it's a great price, sometimes you can't do it. You look at our collection and you think we're millionaires. We're not. We gotta struggle and bargain for every piece.
Jeff has been working really hard lately. He's on his way to the Dallas airport.
Oh yeah.
Show.
Dallas
so vacation will be great. Yep. So he has a show coming up.
Isn't that the airport that has the world's sorriest remnant of Toys R Us in it? I think so. See it. Look in the airport. See if there's a really sorry ass Toys R Us in there.
It's mainly Funko Pops.
It's Funko Pops and Lego sets, and that's it. Pretty much that's it.
We saw it on YouTube. I think
Pixel Dan was there.
So,
he did a video on it because it broke his heart. I was like, oh, Toys R Us, and then he was like, oh, Toys R Us. Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah.
It was sad.
Because I really would love to have one. And it was all complete, just one broken piece. And I was like, I could work with it.
Yeah.
And I can't do it.
Yeah, the price.
I can't do it. He was really trying to bargain. He was really trying to bargain. I'm like, no, I can't do it. Like I said, there were 4. There was one in the box, sealed parts, 2 loose complete, and one that just it's just the vehicles. It didn't have the gantry.
Yeah.
And then of course there was a lot of Terradromes and a lot of USS Flags.
Yeah, Don Knotts replaced Mr. Roper.
Don Knotts did that really well though. He pulled it off. Yeah, Just Jeff says he's driving, but yeah, terrible Toys R Us. Dallas Vintage Toys is there, as is Jaden's. Me and the buddies are going to be doing a field trip while we're down there.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, all right. And Robert wants to know, how much is the tables? What is it, like $400 for the booth?
Depending on the size. And it depends on the show. Because we talked to somebody today and it was $400, but he had a big booth. But he said that if you go to Heroes Con, it's like $900 for a smaller booth.
Yeah, it was like half the size.
Yeah, half the size.
$900.
Yeah, so it depends on the show. Everybody is different. It really depends on the show of how much that is.
And I've talked about it before. It's like the guy, my buddy Bud Plant from out in California, 48 years at the San Diego Comic Con. wanted to make 50 years to be a milestone.
Oh, that's good.
Couldn't do the last two because he says, I can't pay over $5,000 for a table and I'm not selling anything because people aren't coming there for comics anymore.
No.
It's just loaded with cosplayers that aren't interested in buying anything.
Well, not just that. You got all of the movie actors and stuff.
You imagine paying $5,000-$6,000 for a spot for one of those shows and then nobody pays attention to you? God help us. But yeah, it varies from it varies from show to show. But like around $400 for like a 6x10 spot. That's not too bad for a 3-day show. It's not too bad at all.
We saw a lot of Ghostbusters today. Some vintage ones. And we saw some mass stuff too. I saw a few boxed mass vehicles.
Mask has been getting around ever since that warehouse find, and I think it was like Venezuela or somewhere in South America. Somewhere in South America, they found a warehouse full of them that have been forgotten.
No, Robert.
And they you're talking 90s prices there, Robert, for $20 to $30 for a booth. But but everybody wanted the fresh minty ones that they purchased because they were selling them online in lots. And then all of the ones they had in the banged up boxes all ended up on the tables. They popped up everywhere.
Yeah, and it drove the price down.
Yeah, it did.
We saw quite a few Funko Pops today. Not as much as we were seeing back in
the day
2017, 18.
I was surprised to see one big full-on Funko dealer there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Filmation Ghostbuster Firehouse and the Ghost Buggy is my holy grail.
Okay, Saturday morning fan.
We've seen the Firehouse a couple of times. I don't think I've ever seen the Buggy though.
And you got to watch out too because the Firehouse is the same as the police station from the
Police Academy.
Police Academy action figure series.
Oh.
But it pops up from time to time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stuck in the 80s. Yeah.
That's okay, Robert. That's a good place to be. 80s was the greatest decade ever. It's starting to feel that way, actually. I joke, but it's starting to feel that way. It's like, oh, wow, yeah. When people talk about that, oh, I wish I could just go back to the 80s. And it's like, yeah, it was a lot easier. It was a lot more simple.
Yeah.
It was a lot more simple.
I mean, the 80s had its issues.
Hey, at least their swords are different. I was just noticing.
Oh, yeah.
The hilt is different on all of the swords. So they did make a change on these Supernaturals because the figures are all copies of each other. They all look the same.
Extreme Ghostbusters. I don't think I know what the Extreme Ghostbusters are. I got the
She has a few.
Well, I got the Universal Monsters one.
The originals.
Yeah,
the ones that look like the Universal Monsters because I don't think they're officially licensed.
No, they're just called monsters. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a set of those, which those weren't too expensive. They were pretty reasonable by comparison to a lot of the other carded Kenner Ghostbusters stuff.
Yeah, my mistakes. Happy little mistakes.
Yeah, hopefully some of them are happy. Casey says Funkos are good for autographs. Yeah. Then you can't see the pop.
Depending on where they put the autograph.
Almost everybody's going to sign it right on that cellophane window.
Yeah.
And then they'll put it immediately in a pop protector without waiting for the ink to dry.
Yeah,
and then
it'll smudge.
It'll smudge and it'll look like crap.
The gem lady was there. I guess the lady that voiced Gem. So of course they had a lot of gem pop, and she was signing everything gem.
That's outrageous. That is truly, truly outrageous. You sign your own name. I'd be like, lady, can't you put your own real name on there?
No, you got to put gem.
That'll be extra. No.
A real Ghostbusters. So always looking for more. The Power Pack Ghostbusters are what I'm chasing now. About 40 bucks
a pop, says Jeff.
Okay.
And Saturday morning said, follow up to the real Ghostbusters, old team training a new team.
No, I never heard of that one.
I don't remember that one.
I never heard of that.
Johnny doesn't like autographed pops.
Autographs seem to be one of the new few ways fungus holds any value. The other is being
That's what they all say. That's the argument I've heard from a lot of pop collectors is they like getting them signed because it'll help them to retain value. That's not necessarily true because the more times anything is signed, the less that autograph is worth ultimately. And I've mentioned that before, like, for example, Lou Ferrigno. What is Lou Ferrigno's autograph worth? What does he charge for it? Does it add value? When you consider he's been doing that for 40 years. When I was doing comic and toy and sci-fi conventions in the early 90s, okay, he was at the shows. He was at the shows signing autographs for like $5 a pop back then. He must have signed over the last 40 years a million things. How much is his signature really worth on an item now? Or you know what I mean? And people discovered that with Stan Lee. When he died, the market was flooded with Stan Lee autographs. The value went way down because he was signing stuff since the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, and then in his later years, they were cranking him out like he was in a mill, like he had a chain on his ankle, you know. So it's certain things like that. You got to wonder, God, how long have they been signing these? Is it going to be worth anything? And then if it's really obscure too. Like, and I was wondering about this myself when we were at Plastic Empire, where they do autograph sessions there sometimes, and they had the actor who was the kid in the movie Gremlins, right? And he's signing Gizmo, and I'm like, first of all, nobody remembers this kid. What's he done since Gremlins? I have no idea. Secondly, he wasn't Gizmo. Howie Mandel was Gizmo. Howie Mandel voiced Gizmo. You're signing Gizmo. So in my mind, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, shouldn't you sign? Is there not a pop of this kid?
No.
Probably not. But I'm like, does that add value to it if somebody signs something else that's not necessarily related to them? You know what I mean? Which is why
just because you were in the movie.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of times they won't sign stuff like that. Like McFarlane will not sign anything that he did not write or draw.
That makes sense.
Yeah, if he wrote it or drew it, he'll do it. Otherwise, he's like, no, I'm not signing that. Because some people will, like Stan Lee. There are Batman comics with Stan Lee's autograph on it because he would sign any damn thing. And like, that doesn't make any sense.
Highlander
cartoon had figures said Saturday morning. I remember that cartoon. I remember not liking it.
Oh, really?
The show I didn't think was too bad. The movies were okay. The show wasn't too bad. The spin-off I didn't care for with that girl. But the cartoon I didn't care for at all. I didn't think the cartoon made any sense. Well, I mean, you can't. The whole purpose behind Highlander is they were all trying to kill each other.
Oh, okay.
And you can't do that on a Saturday morning cartoon.
I tried watching Highlander because wasn't it like a baby and then he grew up
and you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah,
because he can't be Highlander if he can't behead everybody.
Yeah,
they have to cut each other's heads off.
Yeah, I did try to watch that, and then it was like,
if you cut the head off another person from that a person who has that power, you gain all their knowledge and experience. That's why they hunt each other. You can't do that in a Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about that, Johnny.
Johnny, you're just hearing all kind of random stories now.
Oh man, maybe they should have brought him underoos, Spider-Man underoos.
Yeah, or Spider-Man pajama.
Yeah, Spider-Man pajama. We saw at a booth today. I don't think it's in the film. In the walkthrough, somebody had a Dukes of Hazzard onesie.
Yeah, the pajama onesie
for like a 3-year-old.
Yeah, it was cool though.
It was neat to see.
It's more sentimental. Got a Frodo, Prime, Megatron, Sergeant Slaughter. for us, but did get rid of a bunch of it. Oh yeah,
his,
like
his fell off. And Saturday Morning said Zach Galligan was Billy.
Oh, from
See, I don't even know that. And Munin said, yeah, Highlander without decapitations is not Highlander, because that's kind of the point. And Nostalgic said, not to sure to make of the Herbie in the new Fantastic Four movie. Well, he was in the cartoon. He was in the 1967 cartoon instead of the Human Torch, because Marvel couldn't get the rights to the Human Torch to put him in the cartoon. So they came up with Herbie the Robot. So it's a nod to the old 60s era cartoon show, which is a neat idea. I dig it. I like the whole look and vibe. Was it 78? Nostalgic said 78. I thought it was 60s. But I like the 60s vibe, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, they're giving it a Silver Age vibe. I like that because it's classic Silver Age. And it's Marvel's first superhero comic. So it's got historic value. But I think they're going to blow it.
I wonder how much the comic went up since the announcement of the movie.
Okay.
Because we haven't really been watching a lot of comic.
It'll go up and then it'll tank again.
So you probably should wait until a movie comes out and tank, and then go buy the comic, because then the comic will tank.
Yeah, afterwards, like She-Hulk.
Yeah, and Eternals.
When She-Hulk was up over $1,000 before the show came out.
Yeah.
And when I got my She-Hulk #1, I paid like $40 for it. And it's like 9.6 because it just died. It just died.
Yeah. We haven't watched a lot of comic speculation videos in a long time.
It's been a long time. And that's, it's all hype anyway. We try not to pay too much attention to that. Because, you just go out and buy what you like, and don't buy stuff when they're hot.
Yeah. Is there a good market for custom dioramas? Foam,
not 3D.
I don't know.
I don't know, Casey.
We see a lot of diorama people. The people that I see with dioramas make their own. And I've talked to a guy at the last Toy Swap. He makes dioramas, but he makes 3D printed dioramas. Because I asked him, I was like, I would like to come and videotape, because that's what me and my husband done. He knew because he watches us. And he was like, but when I make them, I do all of my photography and everything, and then I take them down. So I'm like, well, there's no need to come over because you'll only see one. I wanted to see like a bunch. Yeah. But he has no space for them. But he says he makes his own. So I don't know what the market is like. I know every time we go to a show, we see those people, the diorama people. I don't know if they actually sell anything, but it's good for photography. But then it's like, once you do the photography, unless it's a scene, like a cityscape, and you can use it for a bunch of different characters, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
So, before I forget, I just wanted to point out, of course, Nostalgic Pod Blast you see there. That's Chance.
Yes.
And Chance has a nostalgia-based channel that some of you might find interesting if you wanted to check it out.
Okay, Jeff said it is a big growing business. I see them all the time at shows, and I've talked to a lot of the vendors that make it, and they do custom, and then you can ask them for stuff. They got stuff that's already made, and they look good, but then it's like, where do you put it? Because you got to put it up and then put all of the stuff in there. I don't know. Yeah, it was movie star. I mean, if you saw the video, you would have seen who was there.
Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter was. If it's Joe related, he'll always be there, because I think he has more of an affinity and connection with a raw era GI Joe than he does even with the wrestling history. I think he's got more of a connection with that, and probably better loved by people for it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard about that, K-Munin.
Yeah, Girl Surfer is a what if character from like 2012 or something.
Yeah.
So it's not even really canon. And if you're going to go Silver Age, if you're going to have a Silver Age vibe, you got to do Norrin Rad. And they kicked Norrin Rad out for a what if character. And then, you know, Sue Storm, Sue Storm was fine on her own as a part of the team. 25% of the team as a whole, and they all contribute. It's always worked in the comic, but they made the other three useless. And it sounds like they're gonna blow it.
Yeah, I heard HeroCon is going on right now. We've never been to HeroCon because it's in Charlotte, and we would have to stay over because it's like 4 hours, like a little more than 4 hours one way.
Yeah.
So we don't go that far. About 2 hours is good enough. You can go spend time and come back, and it'll be all right.
So, anyways, it's been a long day for us. It's been a long day for us. So we're going to go ahead and start signing off. It's been a long month for us with the move and everything that's been going on. So we wanted to say thank you to everybody who has been in here today. Special thanks to Pastor Rick, of course, for making a donation to the kiddies.
And Daniel for giving us a great scripture. So
indeed.
Wanted to thank both of y'all for that.
But all the help we can get with the felines means a lot to us. Monkey says thank you. You can kind of see him over her shoulder right here. Looking. Hi, Monkey.
Oh.
Other way. There he is.
There you go.
Glad you all could join us today. If you didn't get a chance, go ahead and check out our live stream from this morning when we did the virtual video tour of JoeFest.
Yeah.
And you know, you'll catch us at doing tours of a couple of others. We got the ATL Comic Con coming up that we'll be filming, as well as Joe Lanta, and of course always the retro toy swap and so on. So thanks everybody, and we'll catch you again sometime soon.